Hey, Celtic fans, welcome into today's show. But before I tell you what we're going to talk about, I want you to get down in the comment section and let me know who your favorite current Boston Celtic is. I know earlier this year I asked you who your favorite all-time Celtic is, but right now on the team, who is it? Maybe it's Kemba, maybe it's Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. Maybe you got a wild card like the Time Lord. Let me know in the comment section. Now let's get into today's video. Now, on today's video, I'm going to be breaking down 5 Boston Celtics lineups we could see Brad Stevens roll out this year. Now, let me be very clear. These are not just starting lineups, but that is where we're going to start first with my projected starting 5. And I think this is where most people would tend to agree with me, but I think there's a little conversation to be had about that center position, and we'll get into it. But right now, I think your backcourt is Kemba and Marcus Smart. What Kemba lacks in defensive skill, I should say, Marcus Smart makes up for it there. Jaylen Brown, a bit of an undersized 3, and Jayson Tatum, a bit of an undersized 4, but your starting big man on night 1, I think should be Tristan Thompson, but we'll talk about that more here in a minute. I want to know your starting 5 for night 1. Who you think will be in there, point guard all the way down to center. I believe Marcus Smart should be penciled in at that starting 2-guard position, but we had some discussion here in the office, and that could change around a little bit as well, and maybe they go with a bit of a fluid lineup, but make your predictions heard. Predict the starting 5 for night 1 for your Boston Celtics. Now you focus in that starting center position. Obviously last year it was mainly preoccupied by Daniel Theis, who did a great job defensively. He can shoot the 3 ball pretty well. But Tristan Thompson comes in. He's a better rebounder. He's a much bigger body as a whole. The only thing is, though, I don't think he's got it quite right defensively compared to Theis, and also he's not quite the shooter. I know you see the 39% from 3. That's a bit misleading. He took 0.4 per game for the year, so don't look at that. Daniel Theis is really the guy you would go to if you want a big man that can stretch the floor at all for this Boston Celtics team. But I think you got to go with the new guy, Tristan Thompson, for night 1. Now let's take a look at my defensive-minded lineup. This is, hey, into the game, you got to get a stop. This is who you put in. Obviously, Marcus Smart at point guard. Jaylen Brown at the 2. Semi Ojeleye will give you something defensively on the right nights. There are some nights where he's not there 100%, but when he's in, he is ready to go on the defensive end of the ball. Daniel Theis, I know he's more of that center position, but he had one of, I think, if not the best defensive plus-minus on the Celtics team. And then Robert Williams, who showed a lot of promise defensively. Yeah, he's a bit raw offensively, but he is all over the court on the other side of the ball. Marcus Smart, man, as long as you got him in a lineup, any lineup can play defense. This guy was named first team all-defense last year. Of course he was. Among the Celtics guards just last season, he led the team in box plus-minus. And I'm not kidding when I say Marcus Smart guards all 5 positions. I know he's a guard, but I've watched him go up against big men before, like a Joel Embiid. We know back in the day against DeMarcus Cousins when he was healthy. When Marcus Smart needs to buckle down and make a defensive stop, I don't care who he's going up against, he's going to find a way to get that stop. Now, before I keep moving on and show you some more lineups that I want to talk about and break down, I want to make sure you've subscribed to youtube.com/CelticsTV. Y'all have helped grow this channel so much, and I've actually really enjoyed getting to talk about your Boston Celtics on a daily basis. So I need you guys to help me out so that I can keep talking about them regularly. So go to youtube.com/CelticsTV, or if you're watching on YouTube right now, scroll on down, hit that big red subscribe button. Now, the Celtics don't have as strong of a bench this year simply because Marcus Smart will probably not be coming off the bench, but they still have some really good pieces. They went out and they signed Teague, and I think he's going to be your primary backup point guard. Romeo Langford is expected to take a step in the right direction. I'll talk about him more here in just a minute. Nesmith now, your first-round pick out of Vanderbilt, I believe was the best pure shooter coming out of the draft, and I think they got themselves a steal in Nesmith. And then Daniel Theis, listen, coming off the bench or whether he starts, you could switch him out for Tristan Thompson if you really needed to. And I really like Grant Williams as well. This is a fun Celtics team with a really fun bench lineup that can make a lot of sense for the Celtics to go out and make plays on a consistent basis. And I think this bench mob could come in and wreak some havoc on multiple teams throughout the regular season. I like what Grant Williams does. I like the potential that Romeo Langford has, and I think a guy in Teague can come in and really steady that bench lineup as well. Now let's talk about the guys who, if you need a bucket, if you need a three-point shot at the end of a game, These are the guys that are going to help you get there. Payton Pritchard, you just drafted him in the first round, and yes, I know I've been out on him just as a first-round pick, but as a player and as a shooter, yeah, he absolutely deserves to be in this lineup. He shot 42% in his senior year at Oregon. Jaylen Brown is a guy who is a great three-point shooter. Obviously, can come in and get you a bucket from three. Jayson Tatum, Aaron Nesmith, Daniel Theis is your best big man shooter. But Pritchard, you see that consistently he was a good three-point shooter. He went 35%, then up to 41%. But that junior year did take a dip. And that worries me a little bit going from his junior to senior year. But the fact that he put up 21 on 42% from three, I think speaks volumes for Payton Pritchard for the Boston Celtics. So, look, if Brad Stevens says, hey, I need somebody to go out there and make a three-point shot right now, I think you're either going to give the ball to one of two guys. It's going to be obviously Jayson Tatum or maybe Payton Pritchard. Aaron Nesmith is a great shooter. It's just a smaller sample size. Now, I do want to tell you about this deal before I keep moving forward in my 5 lineups for the Boston Celtics. Chatsports.com/Celtics deal. For Christmas, they're hooking you guys up. They're giving you up to 20% off all Boston Celtics gear, including hoodies, T-shirts, Boston Celtics socks, and hats. Anything you need, you can find it at that link. And when you click on that link or when you put it into your little browser, it helps me out and it helps our partners out at Fanatics. So this link right here will get you the best deal you can find on the internet. Chatsports.com/Celtics deal. Go get all your Boston Celtics gear today while you still can. Now, finally, let's go with the Taco Tuesday lineup, and that's where Tacko Fall gets a chance to play. And now, it's not going to happen very often. He barely played in the NBA last year in his rookie year. But if they're going young, if they're saying, hey, we're going full load management night, they're going to play Tacko in the middle. Carsen Edwards going to roll out at point guard with Tremont Waters at the 2, Semi Ojeleye at the small ball 4, and Aaron Nesmith as your 3. And this is going to be, hey, we're resting Jaylen Brown, we're resting Jayson Tatum, we're resting Kemba Walker, we're resting Marcus Smart, and we're going with all the young dudes. Now, I don't think Tacko's going to make much of an impact this year. He came back on a two-way contract, and we do know that the NBA has lifted the restriction of two-way guys, and he can play all the games in the NBA that he wants to this year. He played in just 33 NBA minutes last year, though, and that was a very situational basis. Situations being the entire Boston crowd chanting his name. That's when he gets in. That's really the only reason he's going to get in. But in the G League, he puts up numbers, and he puts them up efficiently. I mean, 13, 11, and 3 blocks per game on 71% from the field. That's pretty darn good. And maybe one day he'll come in and give you a couple buckets that you need him to give you. But I'm just going to be honest with you guys. If Tacko Fall is playing a lot of minutes for the Boston Celtics, there's some big problems. But we all love Tacko, and I know you guys do because, hey, you're at the very end of the video. So thank you for watching all the way through with us, and you know what to do. Spam that comment section with the Tacko emoji. And you know what? We're going to make this a rule on this channel right now. It's still early in this channel. So here's what I'm going to do. Anytime I talk about Tacko Fall, I was about to say Taco Tuesday. Anytime I mention Tacko Fall, I want you to put a taco emoji in the comment section. So I just talked about him. You know what to do.